million deaths. 800 million people struggle and have instant medical care. They didn't have instant medical care. That was COVID-19, and it affected us all. But never fear, because biomedical is here. I'm Sonny Parks.
I'm Stephanie Mocha.
I'm Gwyneth Barbary.
I'm Christopher Colcroft.
I'm Diane Smith. So our agenda for our presentation, we're going to begin with our business profile, then discuss our SWOT analysis, security concerns, protocols and solutions, budget explanation, our implementation plan, regulations, system updates, future plans, and our citations. So to begin with our business profile, Biodesign's Innovation Labs commits to critical, affordable emergency care, and as Sunny previously introduced, the need for portable devices, medical devices like portable ventilators is critical, especially now in low-income communities. They innovated Respirate, a low-cost portable mechanical ventilation device to support their mission. Respirate stabilizes patients in the absence of sophisticated ventilators in emergencies.
Alright, so I know that our business side of our team went over some of our SWOT points, so I'm going to be brief about this. Alright, so number one, we have our strengths. As our business team said before, they have accurate data, and they also work with doctors and hospitals to create the digital setup. And I think this is actually really important because if I was the client, I really would not want to rent a person working on my digital setup. I want somebody who has, the experience. Alright, also the data is backed up in multiple places. I also like this because that just provides more security for the client. Alright, now we have our weaknesses. There is no incident response plan, which is really bad because if our data is lost, there's no way to retrieve it. We have enough divisional plan. Alright, only using default firewalls. A firewall is good, but I feel like it could be better. It could be upgraded to the next level. Also, there's no multi-factor authentication. So this guy has our guy has an app, Mr. Gotham, and so if there's only one step to authentication, it's easier for hackers to get into if all you're using is a username and a password. So here are the opportunities: creating a strong firewall to further and protect patients' data, and adding multi-factor authentication plan, and also data security being up to standard and frequently maintained. When I say frequently, I mean up to 2 months, every 2 months, run a data checkup. I think that would be enough. And also here are threats. Okay, so data is saved on the cloud, and this is from a survey that's also going to be in our citations. And this survey is very recent. It's been taken at this year, 2023, and it states 80% of companies have experienced at least one cloud security incident. So that's the reason why the cloud is a threat. Alright, and instead of threat due to ignorance is something that's also a problem because he's the point team does not have any training for cybersecurity, and that is definitely a big problem. And last but not least, competing medical companies, they may try and do something to us because they want a taste of our product or whatever, and that's a thing you need to worry about.
So here are some of our security concerns, which is basically some of our weaknesses. First, they have no incident plans. So let's say a hacker gets into our system. There's nothing that we can do to get our stuff. And they use a default firewall. I'm not saying that a default firewall is bad, but they can use a stronger firewall. And no multi-factor authentication, they need a 2FA. Because using a username and password, that's not enough. The hackers can easily, decrypt the username and password, get in. And subpar employee cyber training, they need the training. So let's say somebody get in, they already know how to stop it.
So some of our solutions to the threats that we just discussed are to conduct a security assessment, then implement a firewall, to add multi-factor authentication with consistent security updates, add robust employee training protocols, make all updates mandatory, and enforce very strong passwords for client accounts. And we created all of these solutions with the CIA triad in mind, which stands for confidentiality. Integrity and availability.
This is our budget pie chart and our solutions that we came up with. We were given a total budget of $25,000, and our estimated total costs are a little bit under that, but we do have room for expansion in the last plan there. That is the baseline price for the lowest subscription, so there's a lot of room for expansion there, and as his business, which is growing, grows, he can also grow this plan along with it. So to begin, there's a two-factor authentication. This is a big part of our plan, and that's $2,800 with Auth 0 per year. Cisco firewall is $3K to $5K per year, and antivirus software is on the more inexpensive side for $100 a year, and then every year after that it's $150. And this is still an important element because it prevents simple things like malware and viruses from taking hold. And cyber training is another big thing, and that'll just help eliminate insider threats, people being uneducated and falling for phishing emails and things like that.
All right, now here's our implementation plan. All right, so first things first, what we want to implement is a multi-factor authentication, just so our clients have another layer of security. I think that's always good. Okay, so number two, implement a data backup plan, because we just don't have one. So having that would definitely be good in case of like an incident occurs or like something happens, we have that there as like a safety cushion. All right, conduct a security awareness training for the employees so that in case there were to be a mistake, the mistakes would be like less prominent because they already have that training. All right, and apply the golden 3 rule. The golden 3 rule is basically where we want our company, we want our company to have at least 3 copies of the latest patient data, just in case something does happen. Also ties into our data backup plan. And also backups must be held on at least 2 different storage platforms, just in case something happens to the first one, we have a second one.
Some of the regulations that we have to follow to implement these solutions are ENIS 800-171, HIPAA, IEC 26394, NIST SP 853, and ISO 27001. These regulations just make sure we're compliant to robust cybersecurity standards internationally.
Some system updates that we can use is employ a machine to identify and respond to emerging threats. So let's say somebody's not there, we're gonna have a machine to let us know and get somebody there. Periodic network scans of systems, we could do that like maybe once every 1.5 months, make sure everything is all right, and have it different languages because the demographic is massive and diverse, and we are an international company, so many different people will be logging into the app, and they change their language, and they can know what they're saying and doing.
Here are the future plans for if there's some kind of threat. Just to go back to the AT&T plan we had mentioned earlier, it takes up such a large chunk of the data because it has so many security offerings. It does offer incident response, it has asset inventory, endpoint detection, and threat detection. So it should do a lot to prevent these things having to go into play, but it would also be helpful if these things went into play. So this is a bit of a general overview because the plan could go more into that. So prepare a policy for the event of an incident. That's self-explanatory. Put together an incident response team, open an investigation, and hopefully address the exploited vulnerability, isolate the attack. For disaster recovery, you might want to create more specific plans within departments like engineering or development, and instruct IT on how to maintain backups. Because as we were talking about CIA, if that integrity and that confidentiality is compromised, then it is important to have availability, and that means switching to backup data if necessary. These are doctors, providers, patients, they need to have access to that information at all times. And that also means during continuing the business means maintaining a list to uphold communication, so call trees, just a hierarchy of communication.
These are our citations. Thank you for your time.